entering the Twilight Zone.
What's up, everyone? I'm the Kaiju no Kami, and today I'm going to be talking about my top 10 favorite, episodes of the 2002 Twilight Zone series. In 2002, New Line Cinema and UPN relaunched the Twilight Zone for modern audiences in a post-9/11 world where they felt they could come up with a lot of new stories for a new age. Unfortunately, the show was not very well received, and for good reason. It wasn't bad enough the vast majority of the episodes were borderline boring, but they also featured blatantly obvious plot twists, poorly written endings, forced social commentary, hip music that felt more like it belonged to a teen drama found on the now CW network, poor effects, and awful remakes that either haphazardly ripped off Rod Serling's original scripts, as in the remake of Eye of the Beholder, where they revealed the twist to you in the opening of the show.
I never wanted to be beautiful. I just wanted people not to scream when they looked at me.
Or made their characters utterly unlikable, as they did in The Monsters Are on Maple Street.
I'm glad to see you're enjoying yourself, Will, but the rest of us actually care about how the neighborhood looks.
Yeah, well, let's not drag this out. Some of us would also like to go home and watch the football game.
Monsters doesn't work because the characters all hate each other right from the get-go and don't even want to be around each other, so they clearly aren't great neighbors, which completely diminishes the point of the story when they already don't trust each other. There's nothing to break there because they never had a bond to begin with. Oh, and Forrest Whitaker is terrible as the host, as he often seems out of breath, as if he had to run across the Twilight Zone to make his speech, while also seemingly to just be reading his lines instead of acting them.
When you're in love, the world seems perfect. Just ask Tina Bishop. But unrequited love, that's a different story altogether.
Now I know what you're thinking. You're probably like, hey Kaiju, why are you doing a top 10 2002 series instead of the 1980s series, because you haven't done the 1980s series yet? Yes, that is correct, but I own the 1980s series on DVD, so I'll do a top 10 at some point. I do not own these episodes, so I need to do this now while I still have access to them. Now the sad part is, though, that most of these episodes in my top 10, even though these are my top 10, they're not really that great. Number 10. I'm not even going to waste time doing long intros for these episodes. Number 10 here is It's Still a Good Life. A sequel to It's a Good Life, featuring a grown-up Anthony Fremont who went from an innocent boy who unknowingly terrified everyone using his powers to a man who rules over his town with an iron fist.
Well, it turns out that Peaksville is filled with sneaky people, and they all have to be punished.
It completely destroys the hopes that he would grow up into a good man once he matured, which makes you wonder why he has made this list. Well, it's in my number 10 spot, as it's really the only episode I truly cared about the characters, thanks to both Cloris Leachman and Bill Mumy reprising their roles from the original episode, while Anthony's daughter, Audrey, is played by Mumy's actual daughter, Liliana.
Oh, that was good, Audrey. That was really good.
And you're not mad at me?
Why would I be?
Number 9. One Night at Mercy. A man who tried to hang himself is brought to a hospital proclaiming that he is death and he has quit his job.
Don't you get it? Death isn't just my name, it's what I do.
The doctor in charge of the man clearly believes the man is crazy and wants to get him some psychiatric help, only to realize that people are not dying anywhere around the world. Jason Alexander's performance as Death is easily the highlight, and the idea behind Death being sick of killing people is intriguing. Number 8. Be Kind. Rewind. Rewind feels like it is harkening back to Serling's classic episode, A Kind of Stopwatch. A compulsive gambler receives a tape recorder that lets him rewind time. As such, he uses this device to cheat at poker so he can take revenge on the casino's owner for beating him the last time they played against each other. Our lead is not a very likable character, and he learns nothing from this ordeal, but it is still an entertaining story, especially thanks to its twist ending that wasn't totally evident. Number 7. Shades of Guilt. It's a social commentary on racism. A white man named Matt freaks out when a black man runs up to his car begging for help. He drives off, leaving the poor soul to die at the hands of a bunch of white supremacists. Matt begins to feel guilty for not helping the guy, as he learns the dude was a college professor and not a criminal.
Don't score, you can't win. I don't know what's so hard. You throw the ball, you catch the ball. These prima donnas get paid millions, and for what?
This in turn gives him the reverse Michael Jackson disease, and at one point, he is asked this as he seeks forgiveness.
If my husband had been a white man, would you have helped him?
Number 6.
Time Lapse.
An orderly helps to treat a mysterious patient only to find himself experiencing blackouts and he wakes up in other parts of the country.
I don't know how I got here. From the moment that I walked off of my shift to the moment I woke up here in Portland is a total blank.
Soon, he finds himself believing he is going to assassinate the president's daughter. It is one of the better episodes of the series and an enjoyable ride. I especially loved the scenes when he would wake up and he's in a whole new part of town and is trying to wonder what the heck was going on, as it does keep you on your feet as you're trying to figure out what he's trying to figure out.
Seattle? What happened to Phoenix? Hey.
Number 5.
How much do you love your kid?
A woman finds herself being part of a reality TV show where her son is kidnapped and she must follow a string of clues in order to rescue him. The host of the show is played by Wayne Knight, who brings a surge of energy to the episode's pacing as he pretends to care about the woman's lament while manipulating her into going on with the scenario.
Yeah, we're unscripted. Yeah, we're gonna make mistakes, and sometimes we're gonna get flat out boned. But when you're in search of raw human drama, that's a chance we're willing to take.
It's such an unrealistic scenario that it keeps you entertained with its ridiculousness and fast-paced action.
Arrest them! Make them talk!
I'm sorry, I can't do that, ma'am. The show is licensed and their permits are all in order.
You can't do anything?
Nope.
Definitely one of the episodes I had the most fun with.
Number 4.
Chosen.
Jake Busey plays Vince Hansen, a man who gets a visit from some weird religious sorts that give him a DVD with a man who talks about his life and how much potential he has to offer the world if he agrees to join them.
There's something inside you, Vince. Something worth rescuing.
He runs into a man proclaiming the group to be alien abductors, which sends Vince into paranoid lunacy. The outcome is mildly entertaining and there are a few really good moments that occur that keep you guessing as to what is really happening. Number 3.
Gabes Story.
Electronics store technician Gabe, who is played by comedian Christopher Titus, is a man who is always down on his luck. Anything that can go wrong with his life does go wrong. Fortunately for him, a car accident causes him to see a man in an orange jumpsuit that seems to be intentionally set on making his life miserable, whether it is killing his lawn.
Oh, that's impossible. You can't see me. You're imagining things. I'm imagining nothing. You're killing my lawn.
Breaking a vase to the owner of a house he is installing equipment to.
I'm already running 3 minutes late and this guy wants to play games. Yeah, but you...
Or flattening his car tires.
What are you doing out here? You're supposed to be inside. This is so wrong.
The problem is, no one else seems to notice the guy and Gabe gets the blame for everything that is happening.
The turn of events is quite amusing, providing us with one of the better written stories of the show.
Number 2.
Cold Fusion. Ha!
A scientist is sent to a facility in the Arctic where a weapon known as Gemini is being developed. Upon arriving, he finds a lone soldier trying to break into the vault containing Gemini and the lead scientist, saying the man is going to use Gemini to wipe out humanity.
Test what?
Gemini, that crazy bastard in there, he messes with it, we're all dead. You, me, the whole freaking world.
He also finds other members of the base being neglecting the situation, pondering what exactly happened to cause everyone to have a mental breakdown. It is by far the best psychological story the show managed to scrape together, hence why it is my number 2 choice. Number 1.
If you watch my quickie review, this one should be a no-brainer. The Executions of Grady Finch.
This story is hands down the best of the entire season. It keeps you wondering what exactly is going on, has moments of suspense, and the twist is fantastic. It's the one episode of the show I was so busy enjoying I wasn't even trying to think of what the plot twist was going to be throughout it. Grady Finch is a man on death row for the murder of a store owner. He proclaims he is innocent when an attempt is made to execute him. He hears a voice telling him, "Not today, Satan. I mean, not yet." And something goes wrong with the lethal injection.
What are you talking about?
The injection machine completely froze up. I've never seen anything like it.
It happens again when they try to electrocute him, making the man believe he is invulnerable.
A week ago, you couldn't keep food down.
Oh. A week ago. I didn't know I had a guardian angel.
The only negative I have towards the episode is the CW-like song that plays towards the end, but it works.
And that was my top 10 favorite kind of episodes of the 2002 version of the Twilight Zone. Overall, I will say the show is not worth sitting through, so if you have not seen it yet, do not even bother. Maybe you do want to check out the episodes I mentioned in this list, but other than that, I would say just avoid all others like a plague. It's not a good show at all. And again, there is a reason it only lasted one season. Until next time, bye.
Don't let the door hit you on the way out.